Dreams aren't magic tricks, they are blueprints. This is the Thoughts Become Things podcast, where we open the doors to that blueprint and desire to break poverty. Join Moses B. Arthur, the dreamer, the doer, the guy who builds systems from scratch. We are talking business, personal growth, spirituality, the whole shebang. Forget stuffy suits and boring lectures. This is about real talk, actionable steps, and a healthy dose of love and light to fuel your fire. Remember, it shall never be well with poverty. So get ready to turn those what ifs into oh yeah. Let's go.
To leave my fellow man better than I found them, and the world a better place. And so that if they ever tell my story, they would say that I lived a life that blessed God at its peak and touched humanity at its core. This is why I do the things I do. This is why I'm always excited when we have to bring you guys value by means of the Thought Become Things podcast. And so today's episode is going to really bless you. It's from an experience I had whilst in Virginia, and I hope that you're able to glean some lessons. I always say that I'm a student of life, and so I'm able to draw inference and lessons from almost everything as far as I just give it a little bit of attention, and I begin to, reflect on those moments or those experiences. And so sometimes the lessons that shape us the most aren't learned in the classrooms. They are not even learned sometimes in churches or even in our families. They are learned in moments where our hearts begins to race. They are learned in moments where we begin to sweat in our palms. They are learned in moments where the fear of doing whatever we have to do begins to grip us. They are learned in moments where voices of fear whisper louder than the voices of faith. And so recently I spoke at a men's only conference in Virginia, and it was dubbed Hold the Line. That's the community actually, Hold the Line, and it was put together and organized by my very good brother Emmanuel, and it was such a powerful time, being of a blessing to other brothers and gleaning from the wisdoms of each and every one of them. But after the conference, we decided to do something completely different from the usual conference style, and so we moved to the Go Ape ZipLine and Adventure Park. And for those of you who follow my body of work, and if you follow me on Instagram or any of my social media platforms, you notice that I did share a bit of a snippet on my story on Instagram and some other platforms. And so when we got to the Go Ape ZipLine and Adventure place, of course you'd register. So we took on our tags and we went through the necessary trainings and then the checks before we actually had to start the adventure. And so put on your gear and everything. And so all of us went through that process. We dressed for the occasion, because you do not go to a Go Ape ZipLine and Adventure Park dressed in a suit and tie. You don't do that. And if you've been following my body of work, I always teach this in the community, that your physical outlook is very, very important. You don't go dressing like a suspect looking for a prospect for your business. You must always dress to fit in the occasion. And so we're all dressed right for the occasion. And when we got there, I realized that there were 6 different challenges. So challenge 1 looked fun, challenge 2 looked easy. For me, I think challenge 3 was manageable. A couple of the guys went to challenge 3 though, but challenge 5, they said it was the toughest one, like literally the toughest one. And because if you know MBA, one of the things is that I've never been wired to take the easy way out. And of course, my middle name is Brain, so it means a warrior. So the warrior spirit in me would not say, oh, go for challenge 1, would not say MBA, go for challenge 2. I decided, okay, let me test my resilience. And so I decided I'm going to go for challenge 5. So I'm like, yo, let's go, let's test it. And that challenge tested everything in me, guys. That challenge tested every single thing in me. It tested my strength, it tested my focus, it tested my courage, it tested my endurance. And there were moments that my mind literally said to me that you can't do this. But something deeper inside of me refused to bow to that voice that was speaking to me in my mind. And by the time I touched the ground again, one truth hit me like never before. And it's that outside of death, every defeat is psychological. Outside of death, every defeat is psychological. And so for the guys who were in there, they kept saying MBA is praying, because I would stand there at the start of every challenge in challenge 5. So there were different things you had to do in each of the challenges, and I'll stand at the brink of every one of them, and I'll close my eyes, I'll look at the challenge and speak to myself and say, Moses, outside of death, every defeat is psychological. And so I want to speak to that as we delve in a bit deeper. I realized that every limitation that stops you is not a wall made of brick, it's a wall made of thought. Every limitation in your life that stops you is not a wall that is made of brick, it's a wall that is made of thought. It's not the rope that holds you back, it's the fear of falling. And that's one of the things that I realized when I was on the challenge. It was not the rope that was holding me back, it was the fear that, you could literally fall off this thing and then you'll be dead, or you'd hurt yourself or something. And so it's not the challenges that beats you, it's the voice inside you that says that you can't finish. But here's the beauty of that day. And as I went back to my apartment, I reflected on this so much. And that's the beauty. The beauty that dawned on me that day was that whilst I was conquering my own fears, I saw something very remarkable that day. And it really spoke to me in a very, very unique way. One of our brothers by name Kojo decided to take on that same challenge called Challenge 5. And I watched as he faced his own battle in real time, because they were right behind us. The hesitations, the tremors, the uncertainty. But what made the whole difference for me was that there was another brother of ours called Dr. Emmanuel, who was standing right behind him. He was standing right behind Kojo, and he was speaking to him. He was encouraging him. He was literally guiding him every step of the way, telling him, you can do it. Take this step that way. Move this left leg. Move this right leg. And they were right behind myself and Adolphus, one of the brothers who was with me. So I was on my pair with Adolphus. Adolphus would move, and then I would come in, shouts to you, brother. And then right behind us was Kojo, and then Dr. Emmanuel. And so I noticed that Kojo was taking every step under the guidance of Dr. Emmanuel. And you could see it. Every time Dr. Emmanuel spoke, Kojo got stronger. Every single time that Dr. Emmanuel spoke, Kojo got stronger. Every time he encouraged him, the fear loosened its grip over him. Every word became literally a bridge across doubt. And that moment resonated deeply with me. It resonated so much with me, because I realized that every man needs a voice like that in his or her life. Every man needs a voice like that in his or her life. A voice that reminds him that he can do it. A voice that keeps saying, go, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, you don't stop. Sometimes literally as men, we need people who would say to us, don't stop. And I had to echo and re-echo and re-say that don't stop to myself. I kept saying, Moses, don't stop, Moses, don't stop. Sometimes as men, we need that. For you who's listening in on the conversation today, you may probably not have that voice in your life. I hope that MBA becomes that voice for you. That MBA becomes a voice that reminds you that you can do it. That MBA becomes a voice that reminds you that you have to keep going. That Moses Biatha becomes a voice that tells you, or that speaks strength to you, that you can do it amidst whatever life is throwing at you. And so that's one of the things I realized, that every man needs a voice that will literally push him in their life. Every man needs a voice that will literally anchor them when things are getting tough. A voice that speaks strength when our arms are trembling and when our grip is fading. So people, sometimes all a man needs to finish is the right voice in his ear. And this is why, if you're a woman, one of the best things you can do for the man you're in love with or you are married to is to speak right into his ears. And so to my brothers, Marvel, Enoch, I think Nana Poku, Adolphus, Calvin, everyone literally like in the Hold the Line community, this one is for you. I wouldn't be able to remember everyone's name, but then just top of my head, the ones that I can remember, I remember Marvel, I remember Enoch, I remember Nana Poku, I remember Adolphus, I remember Calvin. Like all you all are like amazing brothers, and this one is for you guys, and this one is for every single guy out there and every single woman out there. And I hope that you're able to appreciate this, because brotherhood is not just about standing together. Brotherhood is about speaking life into one another when we want to give up. And that's how come I was so much excited about what God had birthed through my brother Emmanuel. I say it again. Brotherhood is not just about standing together. It's about speaking life into one another when we want to give up. And in life, just like that ZipLine, life will literally test your mental fortitude. It will swing you through heights and it will drop you down. It will make you question your strength and it will dare you to quit. But I want you to hear me. The voice you listen to will determine the victory that you experience. The voice you listen to will determine the victory that you experience. Kojo was listening to a voice that determined ultimately whether he was going to complete that challenge. And so every man must learn to master the mental battlefield. We must learn to silence the voice of fear and amplify the voice of faith, because the mind is either a weapon of weakness depending on who is in control. And just like that ZipLine, life doesn't move until you leap. You can't analyze your way into courage. No, you can't do that. The only way to move into courage is that you must act. And so you act your way into courage. You don't analyze your way into it. The harness of your trust must hold you. The line of purpose must guide you. And the voice of faith must literally propel you. Sometimes we take decisions. Sometimes we do the things that we have to do. And we haven't even seen the end, but we take that bold step, understanding that it is not just about us taking the step, but it is about who is with us, who is anchoring us. And sometimes that you look back and you reflect, and then the picture is so beautiful and you say to yourself, I did it. And so when it's all said and done, you realize that at the end of the day, it was never about conquering the challenge. It was about conquering yourself, which is why I always say that in the end, it's not the mountains that we surmount, but it's ourselves that we at the end of the day surmount. It's ourselves that we at the end of the day conquer. So as you go into the rest of life's challenges, I want you to remember that outside of death, every defeat is psychological. And if you surround yourself with the right voices, if you learn to speak strength when your soul feels weak, if you keep your eyes on the goal and your heart anchored in faith, you will finish what others fear to even begin. And when your feet finally touches the ground, you will smile, not just because you made it, but because you became something greater on the way down. Remember that when your feet finally touches the ground, you will smile. And not just because you made it, but because you became something greater on the way down. I strongly believe that each and every one of us that went through that particular ZipLine challenge, who made it, and all of us literally made it, because the moment you're hooked on the challenge, it's a journey of no return. And so all of us who went to the various challenges made it. But for me, it was about what we had become at the end of the day, what that experience taught us. This week, I want you to go into the rest of the year. I want you to go into the new year and the years ahead, understanding that life's challenges will come. But it's about the voices that speak to you. It's about how you choose to anchor yourself. Most importantly, it's about who you become through the process. And so I hope that this one blessed you. Do have a blessed day. Do have a good one. Share this one to bless somebody. This is Moses B. Arthur, your brother in light and love. Be blessed.
That is another episode down. Remember, dreams aren't wishes. They are seeds you have to plant, water, and nurture. Take today's golden nuggets of wisdom, sprinkle them with your hustle, and watch your garden of greatness bloom. Share your thoughts. Connect with MBA on all social media at The Moses Arthur. Don't forget to dream, dare, do, and remember, love and light are your superpowers. Until next time, go out there and turn those thoughts into things.